Mine was I think $40 on the Amazon.
All right, so we technically got about like we got 5 minutes. Oh, 4 minutes or so.
Did we want to do a live stream after this?
I don't have any plans. I do need to think dinner and whatnot after this. We're doing this for about an hour, right? Or is this going to go a little bit longer?
Now thereabouts.
You know, I'm down with doing something afterwards. I mean, I do have Gary's month, so we could do that. We could do some public G, because I was playing that earlier. Top 10 with my squad. Nope. Kept on dying on the last two bastards.
So does everyone remember how the intro goes? No. Preview what we're going to be doing the rest of the month.
August previews on Fireman and Wonder Woman podcast. Podcast 3?
Yeah, but third podcast, we never came up with what that was going to be about.
Then we'll omit that. Instead, we can put the Let's Plays of the Donkey Kong Country for the month.
Yep.
Host.
Settings, channels.
In the dashboard?
In just settings in general, so you can actually close settings from the drop down on the right. Click on channel and video.
Audio hosting turned on, so should be hosting videos.
So who is gonna open us up?
Figured you, since you're better at it, and Phil is Phil.
Oh shit! I didn't even the old Raiden for Mature logo is showing.
That's okay. We can't get everything.
No, I'm not worried about that one. I didn't update that one. Oh no, I was trying to update that one, but it was coming out all retarded and not cut up. That's when I asked Jeff if he could make a smaller one in the future.
Yep.
So, all right. So I guess I'll do the intros of things. And everything is based on sound. I'm not doing the clicking on the left and rights on the main one. So.
Awesome.
All right, we go live in 24 seconds.
Our audio is live right now.
Ha! minimize that like that never happened. So, okay. That's lovely. We are live. What's going on, everybody? We are back. It's been quite a while since we actually had our podcast, Rated F Mature. Good to be back. As usual, I'm gathered here with my co-host here, Andy.
What up?
Phil, stop.
Sup, ladies?
Myself, Matt Ram, and our newest addition to the Rated Mature crew, Jeff.
Hey guys.
So for those who are not aware, Jeff is actually no stranger to the show. He joined us on our end of the year Game of the Year show. He also is the mastermind behind all of our logos. So welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
You get one clap. So
Stop, man.
So we are back. Like I said, it's been a while. New look, new things. It's going to be a fantastic show tonight. We're going to start things off first and foremost by letting you guys know what's going on in the month of August when it comes to the Rated M for Mature. First and foremost, our next podcast, which will be a little different than our normal ones, which are usually based on games. This one here, we're actually going to be talking about Spider-Man and the Wonder Woman. And the contrast and how good they are, the goods, the bads. Everyone here has seen it and enjoyed both movies. So be sure to tune into that one. Be sure to follow us on Facebook to see when the time will be for that. Also in the month of August, we will be having 2 gameplays uploaded to the channel a week. We'll be playing, or myself will be playing some Donkey Kong Country, the Kremlin's Revenge, which is a ROM hack of Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. Much like Kaiser Mario, just really hard. So don't take that out of context. So look forward to all that, and let's go ahead and get this show started. Now, this show here, we're going to be talking about E3. Now that just happened back in June or July. I'm losing my mind for that one. Basically,
June.
Yeah, recently. Okay, we're going to be talking about Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Ubisoft. We're going to be trying to hit as much as we can, and yeah, let's go ahead and get things going here. First and foremost, the easiest and quickest thing we can talk about at the moment here, out of everything that happened at E3, Sony seemed to have fallen short. I'm not the only one to notice this, but all of us here have noticed that there was not so much buzz happening around Sony this year as opposed to last year. So yeah, that was kind of a shame. They did have something.
Yeah, I really was expecting a lot more from Sony this year. I know they have, obviously, with Microsoft doing the One X debut, which we'll get to in a second. I wasn't anticipating a ton of stuff from Sony, but I thought they would at least have shown up and put in a good effort. And really, they just kind of showed up and jerked themselves off for an hour and then got off the stage. I mean, they really didn't bring much of anything. I was really, really disappointed with Sony this year.
So you watched them jerk off on stage? Is that what you're saying?
God
honestly,
damn it, Phil.
Honestly, that'd probably been more entertaining than what they've actually put out there.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
you said that they were jerking off on stage and that you watched, so it's kind of a statement of the obvious, right?
Well, see, they didn't. The problem is they didn't have too much because Destiny had their show right before E3, which took the thunder away from that. So they could have showed a lot. Sony could have showed a lot there, but they didn't, and that was a big loss there for them. And then most of the games they had already shown a while back at their own little conference beforehand too. So they just didn't have a lot to show.
Yeah,
I mean,
They didn't have new. I mean, they had a new trailer for God of War. They had the Spider-Man game, which got pushed to the
2018, which
2018.
Yeah, that really pisses me off. I am very much looking forward to that. I really love the studio that's behind this. They also worked on the Ratchet and Clank revamp a couple of years ago, and they also were working on and produced um, Sunset Overdrive, which was just an absolutely fantastic game. I thoroughly enjoyed the fuck out of that. But I'm really looking forward to what this game is. And the data that they had for Spider-Man, I'm really looking forward to being able to jump into, so much so that I am considering purchasing a PlayStation specifically for that game and 2 or 3 others. But that's one of the driving forces in me considering a PlayStation purchase. But yeah, to see that pushed all the way back to 2018 and not even this holiday season. I mean, obviously Spider-Man is out right now, and we'll get into that next week on our show. But the fact that the game got pushed out, it's going to be, I think, about 6 months after the movie releases is when the game is going to release. That's really disappointing.
It is, but I'm always appreciative when a studio is pushing back a title. We don't want to have any rushed games out there, because we all seen when a game gets rushed and put out there that it just flops, and then once they finally get it up to snuff, the hype is already gone on it, and no one really cares, and they're pretty much jaded by it. Street Fighter 5. So I'm just saying.
The Destiny thing, though, could have been out of respect for Activision, because they're putting out a pretty good show too. So why steal some of Activision's thunder when you can just play it low key, be like, oh yeah, we get Destiny too, but you'll hear that from the Activision guys.
Well, Activision didn't even show too much new on Destiny. Destiny had Bungie had their own show before E3.
I think that was the main problem, I guess, when it came to the Sony's kind of like minimal information, just because all the titles that were on PlayStation had their own like conferences, so you can kind of stretch them a little thin to their own IPs, which they didn't have many to speak on.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was Sony. It was really kind of disappointing, but at the same time, it's like they had it good for E3 last year, but this year is like complete opposite when it came to other titles, like other companies like Microsoft and Nintendo. Those were usually the low end, like footnote ones, but this year they really had a lot to speak on, especially Microsoft. Microsoft has so much going for it right now. We're talking about new titles and, more importantly, a new system. We're talking about the Xbox One X, or the Xbox acronym. I don't know. I don't
XBOX.
I personally like Scorpio, but it's whatever.
The Xbox Inception. So Xbox One X spells Xbox. It's Xbox. So on top of it, they went full 360.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I hate you. You're pulling a Phil on that one.
Little bit. Little bit.
What's wrong with that?
Just don't. We already have enough Phil. We don't need more Phil.
I can give you more. I mean,
No, Phil meets the quota of Phil on the show, and in general, we definitely don't need duplicate Phils. That's not necessary.
That's too much Philism. We can't take it. But
serious.
But on in regards to the Xbox One X, I mean, what they put out there, what they talked about was phenomenal. I'm not too keen. I honestly didn't follow it too much because I'm a big Nintendo fanboy, so Nintendo was my main squeeze. But Andy, I know you really took off when it came to the specs and what the hardware has to offer. So, what's your take on it?
Yeah, the One X and the amount of just raw power that this thing puts out is just stupid. I think it's 40% more powerful than what the PlayStation 4 is putting out. In some games, it has the capability of running 4K at 60 FPS, which there's only a handful of games that are running at that. With the One X hardware, with what they've done in testing so far. But even still, a console being able to run full 4K at 60 FPS is just psychotic, the amount of information that is able to process.
It's something that was like... sorry. I mean, like it was that was something that was like supposedly supposed to be for the Xbox One, but obviously it kind of fell short. So I'm glad that they found it right over here.
Realistically, they needed to hold off. The hardware just wasn't there yet. I mean, obviously on PCs you've had the capability of running 4K for some time, and it's really not that difficult, but you have much more robust hardware. The tricky thing when you look at getting into an Xbox is you have to have all of the components in such a tiny amount of space, but you also have to make sure that everything is efficient and you're not overloading any one particular area of specifically of the motherboard, where you can wind up with heat issues, which is what happened with the Xbox 360. There was a design flaw which led to the red ring of death, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone's already well familiar with that. Mm-hmm. But the way that they've designed the One X, and even just looking at like where they've put their vents, how the vents are supposed to function, the attention to detail that they've paid to this is just, it's better than probably anything that I've seen from Microsoft aside from some of their Surface stuff. But it definitely looks like that they've taken some of the cues that they learned in how to properly develop, and not only how to develop, but what pieces of information matter, why this particular thing is more important than that particular thing, and so on and so forth. They've taken those cues from the Surface that they've been working on for a number of years, and they've incorporated that knowledge and that attention to detail into the One X. So I myself am very, very much looking forward to what the One X is going to be bringing when it comes out, assuming it passes FCC checks and certifications, which it still hasn't done, by the way. Mm-hmm. But assuming everything goes well, once it launches in November, I will definitely be picking one up.
Yeah, myself, I'll probably be holding off on the Xbox One X for a while, just because of when Xbox One came out, day one, there was a lot of issues that they had, mainly when it came to reading the disc, when it came to heating, syncing of controllers. It was a lot of fluff that I didn't like. Granted, mine, I'm lucky enough to get one of the good ones that didn't have any of those issues, but a lot of my friends that I've known who bought day ones had to return them or send them back to get repaired. So I'm going to hold off Xbox One X for a little while there, but definitely be seeing a lot of that on from Andy. Jeff, I know you were going to get day one.
Oh yeah.
Phil,
as soon as they let me pre-order it.
No, I'm gonna give me a gold PS4 instead.
Oh, that's right. You and your gold. I can't.
Hello, of course, if you want to eat Taco Bell is giving out a Xbox One X.
I was actually looking at it tonight.
I don't know if it's worth the poo, but you know.
That's what I mean. Like I don't know if the price of admission is worth the payout.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, though. You know what I'm saying? Take care of business.
Yeah, hold on one second, you guys. Taco Bell, if you come across this podcast here, we don't mind being sponsored by you guys and promote Taco Bell. We eat it every day.
I eat tacos.
All right, enough of the shameless squandering here.
With Mountain Dew. Hi.
You gotta do the Baja Fresh stuff.
Hell yeah, Baja Fresh is amazing.
The Baja Blast.
I love Baja Blast. Mountain Dew. Baja Blast.
Now,
let me take a look at the cue card. Oh yeah, Baja Blast.
When it comes to the Xbox One X, even the Xbox One, Microsoft just kept giving and giving. Their exclusive launch titles are phenomenal. Granted, I'm not too keen on one of them just because I didn't get into it when it first came in on the original 360, but the others I'm super excited to see. Mainly we're talking about here like Forza, Crackdown.
I am the racer of this channel, and I am very anxious to see what Forza has to bring, but I haven't decided yet if I'm going to buy it, in no small part because honestly, I played Forza 2, Forza 3, Forza 4, Forza 5, and I think I played the demo for Forza 6, and I don't know where else they realistically have to go with the game other than making it look really pretty, which I appreciate. I appreciate the realism and the beauty and the artistry, but I don't know if it's worth the 60, 70, 80 bucks or whatever it is to pick it up.
I'm just going to wait till Forza Horizon version comes out.
No, Horizon 4.
That. I mean,
the new Forza has smell-o-vision, so you can smell the emissions.
We're not going with smell-o-vision. We're not. That smell-o-vision's never going to be a thing ever.
Yes, it is. Just wait till I fart. You'll smell it, bro.
I just don't want to, man.
I don't want to.
I don't. That's something I don't want.
But why?
And then looking at other, speaking of farting and Crackdown.
Speaking of farting, nice segue.
Crackdown.
Very nice segue. That may be the most random, abstract, unusual, disgusting segue we have ever done.
It's not often I can segue farting into a game.
That's a good point.
And
That's
and this
called
one
an
is a game.
alley-oop. I kind of just toss it up there, and then Matt just dunks it down.
As much as I don't want to.
Sports ball, bro. Sports
Ball. But we're talking about Crackdown. Finally, this is Crackdown 3.
Yeah, this will be
Yes.
one of the series.
This
Finally.
is the one that people, I guess, wanted for a long time since Crackdown 2 wasn't so great.
It was a
And
shit.
Crackdown 1 was amazing. Again, I've only played Crackdown 1. Didn't get into it too much, but my other cohorts here have played them. And they're almost convincing me to do Crackdown 3. Almost.
Almost convincing you to do crack. What?
No one said crack. I
want to get high.
don't.
Come and put some crack down.
You want to get
So I got something relevant to that. Why didn't the toilet paper cross the road?
I don't want to. I don't want to answer this one.
It got stuck in a crack.
It hurts my soul. It hurts my soul, Phil.
So about this Crackdown, Andy, what you got about it, bro?
Well, I am looking forward to what this game is supposed to be, because I've been paying attention to this because I've enjoyed the fucking hell out of the first Crackdown. I absolutely had no idea what it was. Like most people, I bought it strictly for the Halo beta because it was a release title on the 360. I picked it up because I wanted that Halo beta, and I absolutely loved that goddamn game. I played the shit out of it. I actually beat the game, reset it, and started over and got halfway through a second time. And as most of these guys know, I don't do replays. I don't go back over a story again. I don't have the completionist gene within me, and when it comes to video games. But
Yeah, that's my thing.
I love that fucking game. And then the second one was just an absolute piece of diarrhea. It was horrible. It was horrible. They couldn't decide whether they wanted to do zombies or an actual game that was in line with what the first Crackdown was. But having paid attention to what they're supposed to be doing with this, I'm very much looking forward to this, because they've gone through and they took the core elements of the first Crackdown and tore everything down, kept those same principles intact, and have built an entirely new game based on those same fundamental principles. And I mean, I've talked about with all you guys multiple times about Crackdown and how much I really enjoyed it, and I put Crackdown in the same category as Sunset Overdrive. It was a very surprisingly highly enjoyable, very addictive game that was really tough to put the controller down.
It sounds, like I said, I haven't played anything but the first one. I enjoyed it. It was probably the first one I ever played. I was like, kind of open world ish. So it was different compared to all my linear classic games of like the platforming style. So it kept me intrigued for a little while, but I couldn't stay into it. But I know the rest of y'all thoroughly enjoyed it.
No.
No.
Of course. Of course.
It feels so straightforward.
As opposed
Like
to
there's nothing there.
Yeah, that's about right. Nope.
So,
no emotion. All right, Phil, I think you're muted. I can't hear you, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
Hooray, technology.
So I didn't finish the story. I didn't play it at all, really, but I did just jump up the buildings to get the blocks to make my dude jump higher and punch harder. But I didn't play the story at all.
Yeah. And you know what others that I'm really excited for? And that one, aside from Crackdown, Forza. I'm actually generally excited for, and I thank Andy for that one, getting me into Forza Horizon, really playing the crap out of that.
Yep.
As a classic platformer, Cuphead coming out, not only on the Xbox One but on PC as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually got to get my hands on it at E3 the previous year, before they even made any like full announcements about the game, and I had an absolute blast. I have never played a side scroller platformer with that type of artistic style like ever. That type of artistic style is like takes you back to the like the early 20s of cartoon and animation, and it does it so fluidly and so smoothly that you can't tell that it's a game, but you feel like you're watching an actual like cartoon series go through, and you control the whole thing. It is absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend anybody who are fans of like games like Metal Slug, and like any other 2D shooter to get this game. It is, you'll thank me later for it. But that's just my 2 cents.
Jeff, what do you think about it?
Crackdown.
Yep.
I mean, I'm like you. The first time I touched the original Crackdown was for the Halo beta. So
Yep.
that was my intro to it, and I loved it originally. Like, jumping up the buildings, pretty much doing what every person in Deadpool wanted to do, is do the superhero landing. I did those like all the time, like pound the fists into the ground and kill people. It was my favorite part of the whole game, and 2 really was disappointing because it didn't have that, or it had that, but not as well done. So I'm really excited for the new one.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for that. Super excited for Forza. Cuphead. I'm not that old school type shooter guy, but I love the art style.
That's really what intrigues me about the game. That's why
the art of that game is absolutely amazing, and I may play it just for the art, but I'm not sure.
Not only just the art itself, but the music that they put in there is so to that times that time frame, that style of that era. So put that all together, it, like I said, it's well put together.
Oh yeah. And I lost my thought. Never mind.
Okay, I will jump in because I have some opinions on Cuphead. So I actually had not even heard of this game until E3 this year. I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't know what it was, nothing at all. Was talking to my roommate about it, and he'd been paying close attention to it for quite some time. And through talking with him and then doing a little bit of internet research and poking around and digging into not just what the game was previously, but understanding who the guys are that are making it, how it was a couple of brothers that had a third person that would help out, and it was just a project that they had on the weekends, just something that they wanted to do, that they were passionate about, and they came up with this brilliant idea of going through and animating a game to 1920s and 1930s animation, and not just animating to that style, but they actually had to learn how to draw to match that type of style. They actually went out and purchased pastel colors that would match and were consistent with the colors from that era. And so they built this game, which originally was just a couple of stages because it was just them and a friend of theirs who was doing some of the rendering. And it was just the 3 of them was making this tiny little game, and all of a sudden they showed it E3 2015, and everyone lost their fucking mind. And so they're like, oh shit, we need to figure some shit out. So they started to dig into it more and polish it up, and that's where they came and brought it to E3 2016 and showed what they had, and it was just boss battles. That was it. There was no real stages that they had developed. And so they all 3 of the people that were involved took second mortgages on their house just so that they could hire 10 to 12 more artists, just so that they can properly build out the game to what they wanted it. Because originally the intention was to have full levels, but with just the 3 of them working on it, it wasn't plausible. So they cut everything down into what was manageable for them so that they could get something done in the time frame that they were shooting for. but the original plan was to have fully built out levels, full boss battles, all of that stuff. And so basically they wound up stumbling into a brilliant idea that everyone absolutely loved, and they're taking a massive risk with it. And I, for one, even if I don't like the game and how it plays, I appreciate a company and a gaming studio trying to do something that's different and something that's unique. And especially for something like this, which I feel like, because also one thing that a lot of people may not realize is this entire game is drawn by hand. There is no computer animations. There is no stills that are input into a computer and rendered out. It is entirely drawn by hand. And I, for one, my viewpoint is take my fucking money and be happy. Please continue doing this because this is absolutely awesome. Please don't stop trying different things.
Yeah, the last game that actually had like hand drawn everything was Skullgirls, a fighter that was a Kickstarter that eventually they got more than enough funds for and are still making game today, and it's still an Evo tournament as as ever.
This kind of reminds me of another game that Andy was really excited about. It was by a company named Ubisoft, and he had followed that game for quite some time.
Yeah.
And he said it was the best shit ever, and we were going to play the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and we never saw him online.
Wow,
That's bullshit.
Calling people
That is
out.
bullshit.
So I'm like, this might be iteration 2. So I'm really skeptical on how well this game's going to go. I mean, I know it's drawn fantastically, and on an artistic level, it's amazing. But that's not enough to really
that's where I'm
appetite.
And that's where I'm telling you, because I've had my actual hands-on gameplay of it, and the controls are smooth. It's very responsive. Like I said, if you love playing games like Metal Slug or any other type of platforming shooter of that time frame, it's good. It is damn good. And I'm not one to say a lot of platformers are good. A lot of them are actually relatively booty.
I don't know, man. I'm a little skeptical on it. I don't think I'll jump into the pool quite yet.
No, see. Here's the thing. So I played the crap out of that game. I finished the game. I got to level 20, which is the end of the story, in 2.5 days. I think it was 15 hours of gameplay, and I did it in 2.5 days before I beat the game. And then I continued playing for about another month, and because I wanted to see what the game had to offer, what was going to be their first update. And when I saw what it was that their updates were, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in a Diablo type of game where you're playing the same content over and over and over again, farming for gear. That's not of interest to me. But I did make that recommendation, and I thought it was going to be a fantastic game, and it was. The problem is there just wasn't enough of it to satisfy at least my interest in continuing to play it for a prolonged period of time. Now, I also recommended Overwatch, and I also recommended Fortnite, and both of those, at least Matt has been massively into.
Yes.
And I know you have played the crap out of Fortnite, Phil, in between your raids. So...
Well, I'm just saying that it sounds a lot like The Division when you pitched it, and, just like you're saying, it wasn't enough to appease your appetite for the game in the long run. This may be the same thing.
Sure.
Because how many times, how often can you shoot pebbles at something that is trying to eat you?
Absolutely. And I haven't
shoot those all day. But that's
well, I'm just saying, we gotta look out for like $60. Okay, $60 is a lot for a game these days. Yep. I could eat a lot of tacos from Taco Bell for that shit, man. So we really
you can have a lot of shit from Taco Bell for that too.
You can get shit from anywhere. You could eat like Round Table and get shit, and you could eat at like Denny's and get super shit. Denny's, hook me up.
For crying out loud! Hold on, pause.
All right.
How are you gonna segue into Denny's can make you shit that much, and then try to do a shout out for a sponsorship?
Because it's a human biological process. When you eat a lot of food, you shit a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural process.
We're done here. We're done.
I just have one last thing that I wanted to say with Cuphead, and that is I am not saying this game is going to be great. What I am saying is that the artistry is something that I feel is worth investing in. And for me, and like I said, even when I was talking earlier, when I first started talking about Cuphead, I don't know what this game is going to wind up being, and I may wind up disliking the game, but I will happily give them my money, knowing that it is supporting them and it is supporting other people that may follow suit to do something that is unusual within the industry, just to try and do something different. And I want to support the true artistry of that, because I am an old school gamer in that regard. I don't just go to the big hit games. I don't just go to the things that seem like they'd be popular. Like a Sunset Overdrive is a good example. It was not a terribly well received game as far as game sales went. I thought it was one of the best games I've played in a decade. I love the crap out of that game. And I played it all the way through, and I beat it within like 2 weeks or something like that. And I don't power through games, but I powered through that. So I look at Cuphead in very much the same kind of way, in that the game is a byproduct of what I'm investing in, which is the artistry and doing something different. And for me, I'm okay with spending $60 for even a marginal game or even a crappy game if it means supporting people trying to do something different, because to do something different, you don't always succeed. Sometimes, you know what, you fuck up, you fall flat, the idea doesn't come out exactly the way that you intended, or the way that the idea is executed isn't quite in line with what people are looking for, or what have you. Division is a good example of that. But I am happy to give my $60 to a game, and actually the game isn't even $60. I believe it's only 40. So I am happy to spend my money and invest my money to support artists that are trying to do something different within the game space. And I hope I'm not the only one.
No, I'm right there with you. But again, that's just me as the classic gamer of the group. It really,
that's true. You're definitely the classic gamer.
It is my cup of tea.
One question though.
Yep.
Did you play Okami?
No.
That was an artistically beautiful game.
It was. I agree.
Very good looking game.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, the fox, right?
And Clover Studios died. So
but the
just
character
saying,
still lives in.
These guys, did a lot of things. They're putting out a lot of really good artsy stuff, but that's a big risk. Just be careful, guys.
And Okami, again, when it came out, it did fantastically well. It just that they never followed up with anything else outside of the 3DS, or was it the 2DS? Not 2DS, but the DSi that had a follow-up title to it. But artistically wise, it's different, and it's good different. I've had enough of these. Don't get me wrong, they're fantastic games, but like all the Unreals, the CryoWares, and all these like Unity, like super detailed.
Okay, did you play Odin Sphere?
Odin Sphere.
Another artistically beautiful game that didn't get much fame. It was really good looking game. It was not hand drawn, but it was a well animated game.
Anime style, wasn't it, Phil?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of those games were released in 07 and 08, and where I was at that time in my life is very, very different than where I'm at now. Also, with both of them being more anime style type of games, that doesn't particularly fall into my taste, and it's not something that was really on my radar even 5 years ago. And part of the reason why I've become as exposed as I have to the anime genre in general is because of you three assholes. So thanks.
You're welcome.
So speaking of, this is actually a good segue. Speaking of anime, for the two fighters there, Microsoft also announced Dragon Ball FighterZ Z.
Yes, I am thoroughly excited for it.
Made by the same group that behind Guilty Gear and BlazBlue.
That is correct. BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, fantastic titles. Even the Guilty Gear Xrd, which did the transition to that 2.5D, but still has that anime look to it, even though they're full 3D models. Taking that artistic style, bringing it to the Dragon Ball series, giving us a fighter that we've wanted for years. We had the Budokais, which were fine and dandy. We got these Xenoverses, but this version here is what we truly wanted. As me personally, as a FGC member and just a Dragon Ball fan in general, this is the type of fighter that I've wanted, and I'm so excited to see it. And the fact that it's multi, it's 3-on-3, so it's literally what I know. There's been a lot of comparison to this one in FGC between Marvel Infinite and this is the Marvel that we wanted.
It's a ménage à trois.
Yes.
I'm
so
sorry,
it is fantastic.
I heard Booty Kai.
Yeah, Budokai.
Yeah, I heard
Booty
Budokai.
Kai. You know, that's why I was busting up. I was like, oh damn, Booty Kai, where all that booty coming from, yo? But I'm also very excited for this game as a fighter myself, and a pretty big fan of anime. I want to play this Dragon Ball game. The last fighter from Dragon Ball that I really played was Ultimate Battle 22 on the PlayStation 1. That was a really good fighter as far as Dragon Ball fighters are concerned.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it that. It's probably the only one outside of the actual Tenkaichis for the SNES. Those were import only, so they were hard to come by. But,
Yeah, same thing with Ultimate Battle 22 is Japanese import only.
Yeah, they actually did want to bring that to English, or at least to U.S. consoles. They just never translated it. So
yeah, they were trying to get it onto the Sega Saturn too at the time.
Yeah, and I think the last time they went with a 3D fighter, like a legit 3D fighter, was with their Final Bout GT.
Yeah,
and that was awful. No one wants to acknowledge that as an actual game. So seeing that this one coming out the way it is, being done by such a prestigious company of Arc System and Bandai, it's truly exciting to see, and I can't wait for the the beta signups to come out. I believe it's next month, and then the following month will be the actual closed beta for it. So I'm excited. I'm ready, and hopefully, for all those FGCs and Dragon Ball Z fans, I'll see you online.
Yeah, and I'll kick your ass in it too.
This one might actually get me to play because I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. So you may see me playing for a short bit. Not a good fighter, not at all.
You don't have to be. They've made it easy to get into, but difficult to master type of style. So it makes things easier. They even took a little bit of from King of the Fighters 14 with the auto combo system, where you can just basically press the same button over and over, and you'll get to a legit combo. Granted, it'll be at half damage compared if you did it the manual way, but it makes things easier for those.
That'll be me all the time then, just button smashing, you know.
That's all that matters. As long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters to me.
All right, we know that that Matt's Jimmy Jam is fighting games, and to transition, the other large, very heavily hyped title that was announced with Microsoft, and is probably the last game that we'll touch on for Microsoft, was Anthem.
Yes.
Oh, that right there. That game is it. First off, it looks beautiful. Second, BioWare finally getting facial animations right. So, thank you, BioWare, if you're listening. If you're not, sorry. But I'm really excited about this game. It's going to be a rival to hopefully the Destiny franchise, which I love Destiny. So I'm really looking forward to this game as well. I'm really hoping they take the cues where Destiny screwed up and capitalizes on that with that whole open world and teaming up with your friends and everything. So I'm really looking forward to it. It looks gorgeous. The world looks entertaining. The mechs look cool. And that's my take on it. What about you guys?
Let's try not to double up on tanks this time.
just to try something different.
Yeah. You could be the tank. I'll do something else.
Jesus.
But I also really enjoy the game. Since I saw the trailer a little bit before E3, I wanted to play the game. And of course, it was staged gameplay in that trailer. It wasn't necessarily.
Yeah. Of
It was-
course,
Yeah,
I mean, they make,
it's more likely that's like any other ones. So they only built so much of this game itself to debut to the masses. So to prevent any type of crash or anything like that, they had to go that particular route, and it also shows
But
out some of the mechanics as well.
yeah, but the
They-
point that they were trying to make to it though is that it is in game engine. This is what we're trying to make it look like.
Mhm.
It was all on the fly too, because that other group just kind of joined them right in the middle, and that was, you know, even though it was staged gameplay, it was still gameplay, so it was really good.
Yeah, and being open world is another thing that's kind of becoming a thing that I'm starting to enjoy. That's just thanks to GTA 5, and I'm still haven't fully completed, but just because I'm just going around just messing with stuff. So I mean, like having another open world with exosuits is awesome.
But that's how you complete GTA 5 is just go around and mess with people.
When their
Yeah,
servers work.
This is true facts.
Yeah.
This is
But I'm,
facts, true facts.
Like I still am not sure. No, let's not even go down that road. No,
Yeah,
we spent enough time on Xbox. Let's move on from Xbox and let's start talking about Nintendo's press conference and
yes.
the many things that they talked about. Of
Yes.
probably the most notable being Mario Odyssey.
Yes, I'm excited for it. There's certain things that are weird about it. Mainly just the whole going to the real world for one of the worlds that's in there. It's not like the main world, but it's like one of the many that you traverse through, and the fact that your hat is no longer just like an article of clothing, but actually your partner to help you get around and take over enemies and do all this other stuff. It's a completely new direction, but still maintain the classic Mario style, especially with its control scheme of like basically it's Mario 64 with Mario Galaxy combined into one with a new story. The way I see it, and the way I've seen the trailer, the gameplays, it literally first things come to mind are those two games, and I'm really excited about it. The multiple worlds, colorful, everything. Thanks for the uh-huhs, guys.
Sorry, it's.
I mean, but it wasn't just the mainstay there. There was a lot of other fantastic titles that they did announce, but I mean, Mario was
It's an
obvious.
It's a Mario game, and Nintendo is always going to hype when they come out with a new system with a Mario game, and so it wasn't a surprise that it was coming.
What was a surprise though? It wasn't a launch title.
That's true. It was not a launch
They
title.
held
That is a
back. They held
surprise.
back on that.
Now I am excited for it being going back to its roots with Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy, which were both phenomenal games from So, but it's to me, it's a Mario game, and that's my opinion on that through and through. Yep,
and that's all that matters. Not your opinion, but I mean that's Mario.
Yeah, exactly. It's Mario.
It's Mario.
Exactly.
So I'm excited for it. I know every other Mario fan has been wanting something like this for a while, so all those who have a Switch enjoy. I'm also looking forward to finally after years of not having one, Metroid Prime is coming back. And
yes, and I'm actually
epic.
excited for that one because
it's going to be epic.
I've played the original Metroids. I played the Metroids on Game Boy. I played the original Prime game. I love Metroid, and I cannot wait for this game.
Yes, when I saw the trailers, I was dumbfounded, and I was really excited for it. And I want to play it, but I can't obviously. So the best thing I can do right now is go back and play the original 3. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm not sure.
I love Samus. Samus is fucking hot, dude. For real. The long blonde hair. Oh snap! And she like folds up in that little ball to roll into the hole. Man.
Rio Do.
Your ways of describing. Oh god damn it! I can't with you sometimes, Phil. So another fantastic first party title that will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. Another one that I know a lot of our friends are playing currently on the 3DS is a Monster Hunter. They're bringing that to the Switch in the glorious graphic update overhaul, new mechanics, new monsters, and new ways to play. Pretty much almost new everything in its entire regard. And I thoroughly enjoy the fact that now they have interactions between the monsters this time around, where you can actually go against one. You can be on a quest to take down one monster, but another monster will be getting in the way and start fighting that one, which will help you or make it worse for you. Either way, it's a lot more interactive and enjoyable, and the elements make the quest change. So that is going to be fantastic, and I hope everybody else enjoys that one. But keep in mind, there's going to be a lot of grind, just like any other Monster Hunter. So be prepared for that.
On top of that, they're allowing that Monster Hunter game to come to PC.
Yes,
which is huge.
See, what you guys are missing though is how much money you could make off of Monster Hunter, because this is what you call a battery killer. You know, could you imagine how many accessories all the third-party inventors can get, and also Nintendo themselves with external battery kits, extra charging adapters. I mean, these kids, not even kids, like the 30s, the 30 pluses, you know, they'll be out there playing Monster Hunter on lunch.
Well, you know, some of those Monster Hunter, like trying to kill those like groups along with your friends, because you could do multiplayer in some of the older Monster Hunters, and how long it took to kill some of these monsters. Yeah, you're going to need extra batteries.
Oh yeah, for sure. My 3DS died so many, have lost power for so long, just going on, just me soloing stuff, and then working with some of the people that I used to work with. Yeah, we would just run through a lot, and you lose track of time, batteries die out, and you're like, oh, I need my plug. Where is it? Oh, dang, you know. So third party, but then again, when I think about it, third parties have always been Nintendo's friend. If you look at it, all their other systems,
peripherals, third party peripherals and everything, that's always been Nintendo's friend.
That is their Jimmy Jam.
Mm-hmm. They weren't very friendly with Sony when Monster Hunter was on PSP, and all the dead batteries and the thing overheating. It was bad times with Sony owners at the time. Yeah,
their handhelds were amazing, but they could really get much love. Really disappointed in that, because the Vita was a beautiful piece of tech. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah.
And then looking at others, I mean, the last thing I can think of here, I know they had like a bunch of other titles that they're bringing to the Wii U. I mean, they got Yoshi's getting a new game in 2018, so that's gonna be fantastic. Breath of the Wild DLC. They're actually giving some DLC which technically dropped at the end of June, so people should have been playing it by now. And Rocket League. I know it's a classic title that's on all systems right now, but they're bringing it to the Switch, and it's going to give Nintendo's going to give it a Mario flair, so it's going to be an interesting take on it.
Which is great, because I mean, with the Rocket League, all the vehicles were you kind of wanted to create your own vehicle, so you give Nintendo rights to create some Nintendo-based vehicles, then you got yourself a hit, you know.
So that one's going to be a fun one that's going to be on everyone's wish list, and even the 3DS got a little bit of love here, especially with again, we're going back to some Metroid here. They're bringing back Metroid to the 3DS, and that one's actually going to be the classic platforming style. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, which I haven't seen one of those since I think the SP.
Yeah, the Fusion and the remake of Metroid 2. It's been a while. It's been long overdue for Metroid, and I'm glad they're bringing Prime back, and this one is going to be fantastic. So look out for all those titles. Those are all for Nintendo, and not only that, but this also helps out in our next little segment here, where we're going to be talking about an actual gaming company, not necessarily a big one for like that's actually does consoles. I'm talking about Ubisoft, and their lineup looks amazing. Just hands down amazing. We're talking about games like Assassin's Creed. Now I know that's not everyone's forte, but I'm excited for it. I've been a fan of Assassin's Creed since Brotherhood, so seeing this one here is fantastic. And then to bring it back a little bit, Nintendo, they're Mario and plus Rabbids. Now that game, I've seen gameplay of that. I've seen it. It looks awesome.
And it's co-op between Nintendo and the guys who make XCOM, which is one of the better strategy games on PC. So having that cool strategy feature in the Nintendo world, it's like mingles, like goes back to the Mario RPG, if you guys remember. It was sort of that kind of same setup. But yeah, so really cool.
So it's very exciting to see that one come through. And then we also are looking at Beyond Good and Evil. That looks really good.
Yeah, now that was just a trailer, and it's supposed to be apparently a prequel to the existing game that came out ages a long time ago, back in the original Xbox land.
Wow.
Yeah,
the original one was back in 2003, so it's been like 15 years since we had Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that game. That goes to my old school getting into the games.
Yep.
And then we also got
working at Electronic Boutique.
Oh, EB Games. EB Games, dang.
That's going back.
No. It was just before they went with the abbreviation. I was Electronic Boutique.
Oh, for crying out loud. That's going even farther back.
Yeah.
That's antique right there.
Yeah, it is.
And then you also got Far Cry 5. So not too big on the Far Cry series. It's never been my thing. I just couldn't get into it. I'm not sure about the rest of you guys. How you guys feel in the 5?
It's interesting because the only reason I want to play this is because it actually takes place in an imaginary place in the U.S. in a Hick Village city in Wyoming, right? I believe, or Montana, one of those two.
Seems legit.
So yeah, I just want to play it for the hillbilly factor, and that's about it.
I can't. I don't know. I can't really sign too much on that one.
I can't take any Far Cry game seriously anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
But they have great villains. That's all I'm gonna say. The villains are completely outrageous and cool. So I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna take a look at it, see what it's like.
All right, and then Skull and Bones. Now, I'm not too keen on this one here. I didn't really follow too much on this one here, but it's basically pirates at sea. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no. What it takes is the ship battle system from Black Flag.
Ooh.
And makes it into a MOBA, essentially.
Ooh.
So it's teams. They battle against each other. They're different ship designs. You got the ram ship, you got the dreadnoughts, you got the other kind, and you go in and destroy ships and collect their loot. And once you do that, a group of enemy ships that are, I think, NPC based come in and try to wreck your shit because it's the I believe it's the Royal British, the Indian Trading Company that tries to come in and wreck you. So
I actually went and pulled this up because I don't recall seeing this because I didn't see all of actually I didn't watch any of Ubisoft's presser, so I didn't catch any of this. So I went and pulled it up on Ubisoft's website, and this is their game overview. In the golden age of pirates, Renegade captains command the most powerful weapons on Earth, warships. You are an upstart pirate captain who refused the king's pardon and sailed from the Caribbean to the Indian Ocean, an untamed frontier full of lavish riches. However, these waters are also a battleground where far-reaching colonial empires, powerful trading corporations, and ruthless pirate gangs ferociously clash. In order to survive, you have to build a lethal fleet, prey upon lucrative trade routes, and ally with other pirates to join the endless struggle for supremacy.
So
Released
pirates.
fall 2018.
Yes, so it's a year from now. It was definitely a teaser trailer when they did it. So yeah.
But this will be a universal release on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
PC, baby.
Yes. Yeah, it's lining up to be a lot like, I think, For Honor.
Yeah, For Honor's doing amazingly well even right now. I'm still surprised.
Yeah, they just speaking of, they just released couple patches, the Highlander and another one, so which is cool. But yeah, that pirate game I'm so excited for, because I love the battle system in Black Flag for the ships, and the fact that and that was one of the things some of my friends would comment on and be like, we wish this was multiplayer. We wish that, well, Ubisoft actually listened and they're making it multiplayer.
If only they listened in other places too.
Tis a shame. Tis a shame. So I mean, they had a lot of other titles that came out for Ubisoft that will be coming out. We're talking about like The Crew 2 for you racers out there. We're looking at Starlink Battle for Atlas. Not too much on that one there, but it looks interesting. I like how it's kind of but I mean, it's interesting. It's the best thing I could say in that one.
It's gonna be a money grab. What it is you know, they say you can purchase the items in game, but you know, the money's where you're getting those ships and you're attaching them to your controller and you're going.
Wait. Do you mean that within the game I can ship my pants?
Wah, wah, wah.
That no sound effects anymore. Thanks, Google Hangouts. Fuckface.
They announced that one on our last podcast. Our last live
and it
one
still
was the only
pisses
time we
me
had
the
that.
fuck off. I want my sad trombone.
Salty.
Just a bit.
Yes,
but
You know, we'll make sure to get a soundboard so you can have your moments.
you gotta give Andy the soundboard because I'm not touching that.
Oh, I will have it.
I know you will, but I think E3 had a lot to offer. A lot of good stuff, not so good stuff. A lot of amazing titles. A lot of new hardware. I'm truly excited for 2018. It's going to be an amazing year for gaming. So I think that'll cover it for this podcast here, you guys. I don't know. Any other last words on regards to E3?
So there's a one game I'd like to make note before we head out of here, and that's Metro Exodus. That was also shown during the Xbox.
Yes, that's right. That is one of the ones we forgot to touch on.
Which quick touch on that. Looks beautiful. It's part of the Metro series, so I know it's going to be hauntingly good. So it's going to be creepy and survival-like. So I will probably enjoy that, playing that single player.
Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be epic. I actually played a little bit of the first Metro because I thought it was just cool just to see being able to blast demons in the face was pretty legit. So seeing this one here really caught my attention. So it's not often a first person can actually do that. So
yeah,
outside of Overwatch. But I mean, like, Phil, any other titles that come to mind before we conclude?
Absolutely. There's a game coming out from a very small development company. It's called Billy Bojangles vs. Zombies.
I'm done with you. You're going in timeout. Timeout. Andy? No. I'm kidding. Phil, go ahead. On a serious note.
Damn it, Phil.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, damn it! Don't encourage.
Surprisingly, that's the retail price. $1.
God damn it!
You get a discount if you walk into the store and say, "I'll buy that for $1."
Yeah, that's it. Your screen time's taken away. You're in timeout.
Jeff, I'm
Andy.
so hitting you in the balls the next time I see you. God damn it.
Andy, final thoughts on E3?
Christ.
Fantastic.
Overall, my grade for the E3 this year, honestly, I would give it like a C plus B minus. The stuff that we got was nothing that was unexpected. I didn't see anything that terribly surprised me. There's nothing that was just like, oh my God, holy fuck, what was that? There was none of that, which has been one of the things that has been kind of a hallmark for E3 in years past. And granted, it was kind of expected that it was going to be a little one-sided because you have the new hardware for Xbox that's coming out. And Sony had theirs for last year, but at least Microsoft last year showed up for the conference and they actually brought something and tried to present something. And Sony really didn't do that. I mean, granted, the big thing that they have is Destiny, and I know they had their little thing beforehand, which I still don't understand why the fuck they even allowed that to happen, or who it is that thought that would be a good idea, because I really hope they're fired. I'm not one to wish ill on people, but that person really needs to be fired because he or she clearly does not understand how to do the marketing thing. So yeah, no, you should probably go find another career because this is clearly not the one for you. But I thought it was a ho hum kind of, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, but that's just kind of it. Like nothing really blew me away.
So it wasn't like last year where the wow factors were constant. This year it's kind of like, okay, we saw it coming, but at least we get to actually see it in full action.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say the only wow factors that I actually had during that were pretty much during the Microsoft conference. There was Anthem, there was Metro, and then later on during the Ubisoft, there was Good and Evil. That was it for me. It was for the wows.
Yeah, most of mine were in Nintendo's conference with the Metroids, the Yoshis, and then on the side one with Bandai and the Dragon Ball Z Fighters. That one, those really caught me, and those I'm really excited for. So, but I agree, this is more of like a C plus B ish E3 this year, which was a shame. But again, this is one of those years where we knew these things were going to come. We didn't know what they were going to look like because all it was just talk and still imagery.
And realistically, it's not possible for it to outdo itself every year. That's not attainable. Especially because we have new hardware out this year. The PlayStation 4 Pro has been out for a year. I was expecting that there was going to be more content specifically from Sony that was going to be able to showcase their more robust hardware in the PlayStation 4 Pro. And honestly, they completely fell flat. I'm really disappointed with Sony.
Well, they actually sort of did show off their Pro, and it was in a really weird way. It was for the VR.
Again, that was what I don't like. VR right now is just not happening. It's just there's not enough for it. I know
what are you talking about? VR is amazing.
VR is amazing right now.
Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball VR edition right now. Right now.
Matt doesn't want to play.
I was trying to be serious, Phil, but yes.
No, I'm serious too. That's a great VR game.
He's not
enjoy the shit out of that game.
You are not wrong. That would be a fantastic VR game. You are not wrong.
I'm just saying that the VR titles that are currently out right now, the only good ones that come to mind right now was Resident Evil. I haven't seen anything else console-wise for the PlayStation. No, I'm not saying that VR in its entirety, on PC, is terrible. I'm talking about just for the PlayStation because that's what we're coming from at this point. That the PlayStation Pro was mainly showing off its PlayStation VR hardware. That's what I'm talking about. That it's not really that hype as other VR's gear has been put out there. Hell, even the Samsung VR has gotten more hype and more exposure than than the PlayStation VR. So I'm not knocking VR in its entirety because I've done Oculus, I've done the Rift, I've done the whole bit there, and this one right here, it's just not it at right now. Yeah, I'm not saying in the future it's not. I'm just saying right now it's not in.
Right. I mean, it is currently the cheapest VR on the market, though.
True facts, but you got to look at the fact you got to get.
Yeah, I was going to say that's only if you look at the cost of the specific headwear only.
Yeah,
you're not taking into effect that you have to spend $500 on a PlayStation 4 Pro and then the $600 on the VR stuff on top of that and the game. So you're looking at $1,100 that you're into for one VR game. Like that's just stupid.
Well, I mean, that's if you didn't have a Pro, So, but those people who have bought Pros and then have bought the VR, I don't have a PS4, so.
Well, it's like any other hardware. The hardware needs the software to sustain itself. So, for VR to be a thing, people need to make games for it.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
And like I said, I'm seeing more VR games being put on a PC platform with
the HTC and Oculus.
Yeah, I'm seeing more of those, and those look fantastic. PlayStation, unfortunately, they got work to do.
Yeah. Right, and I think that's what they were showing during their conference. Is look, guys, we're working on VR Pro. So, and that's what their show was about. Was that and God of War and Spider-Man.
The Spidermans.
Spider-Man.
And even still, Spider-Man was just a couple of minutes of gameplay.
And pushed back next year.
Which is basically a trailer.
Yeah, basically. They wound up having more gameplay as the conference went on, but at their presser, there really wasn't a whole heck of a lot to get your nipples hard. So I was a little disappointed in that. But
true story.
You're welcome, Matt.
I'm done.
So one of the points that I was going to try and make is that if you look at the Microsoft and the Sony press conference and put them head to head, what you have is you have Microsoft saying, here is our new piece of hardware. It's fucking amazing. Look at all of these games and how beautiful they look. Sony, we have hardware that's been out for a year now. Look at all of this VR.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Which, that's fine. But VR as a whole is a niche gaming genre or a niche piece of hardware. I have zero interest in VR. It's kind of like, oh, that looks really cool. If I go to somebody's house and they have it, sure, I'll play. But am I going to spend an extra $600 or $700 for that? No fucking chance.
Well,
zero chance that that's
depends on what you play. And
True. I'm not, like I said, I'm not knocking the hardware. I'm not knocking anything.
No,
I'm just saying.
I'm not knocking it either.
Like I if I had the room, which I don't, I would probably have an HTC, their version of because of the room scan, which is great. Because I went to a friend's, played it, enjoyed it thoroughly. But that's a whole nother show to talk about that.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of my point. Like, I mean, one of the big criticisms that Microsoft got when the Xbox One first released was that it was not enough of a gaming system and too much multimedia. And the PlayStation 4 was a gamer's console is what it was kind of marketed as. And now you look at the PlayStation 4 Pro versus what you have with the One X, which the One X, Microsoft is pushing that the same way that, and honestly, I mean, if you look at Microsoft's press conference and you compare it to what Sony's press conference was for the PlayStation 4, they are very comparable because you have tons of independent studios. They're talking only about the hardware, what it can do, why it's better, nothing else. No bells, no whistles, just here it is, dick on the table. What do you got? And Sony responds with, oh, look at VR.
Not everyone likes dicks, okay?
Well, there are dicks and there are assholes. Either you are a dick or you are an asshole. And dicks fuck assholes.
Well, I don't know. I like pussy. Just saying.
I can't with you guys. I can't. We're not going down that road tonight.
I'm just saying. I mean, you're gonna put your dick on the table. Maybe not everyone's gonna look at the dick.
No, everyone unfortunately will look at it because it's on the table.
Well, if you put a nice pussy on the table too, people look at the pussy too.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to see. I mean, unless you got a mirror.
I'm done with both of you.
Well, you're putting it on the table, so it's going to be on display. And you display things the right way because you put it on display, right?
Usually, but it all depends on whether you put the lotion on the skin.
And that is our E3 podcast, you guys. I had fun. A little off topic near the end, but all in all, E3 is and was.
Could you imagine that on VR?
Good
I'm
lord.
sorry,
The
Twitch.
dick on the
I'm
table
sorry.
in
We're
VR,
probably going to be banned. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we apologize.
or the vagina on VR.
I'm done with you.
I mean,
I'm
we're
done.
talking VR and PS4 Pro here, guys.
No, we're going too far.
You
Yeah,
know,
we can't. We
Now we're
can't.
going too far.
that are live stream volleyball. Take notes. Just saying.
Don't. Anyway, that is our show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. This will actually be uploaded to our YouTube channel, so be sure to, if you haven't already, subscribe to that. If you haven't already for our Twitch channel, be sure to hit that follow button, as we'll be doing a lot more live podcasts here on Twitch as opposed to our past ones where we did it on YouTube. So we're going to be here from now on. This is our home. We'll see you guys then. Be sure to check us out.
Every Friday at 7:00, we will be doing something.
There you go. Every Friday. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate
won't
the
be
follow.
That's what I'm here for. 7 Pacific time, I should say. 7 Pacific.
Yeah, Pacific time. Be sure to check out when we do our next podcast on Wonder Woman and Spider-Man. So be sure to look down. Feel free to join the conversation. Leave it in the chat section. We'll see it there. We'll be able to read them off. So check that out. Also be looking out for episodes of Donkey Kong Country, Kremlin Revenge. Those will be coming up every Tuesday and Thursday. There'll be an episode for that. So be sure to check those guys out. And also on occasion, we'll be doing live streams individually. But we'll let you know on our Facebook page to times and what we're playing.
Yep.
So if you haven't liked us on Facebook, do it.
Before we wrap up, final thoughts, and everybody plug your Twitch channel. Jeff, leading off, new guy.
Final thoughts? Anthem
Final
rocks.
thoughts and plug your Twitch.
And you can find me at Corathis on Twitch. And I usually am a variety gamer, so I'll be playing a little bit of everything. Also do some 3D work there, so you can see me do some 3D work and play some games.
Phil?
Final thoughts? No final thoughts?
Who for?
No?
For Jeff?
Jeff? No final thoughts?
Phil,
Okay, well,
go ahead. Final thoughts and your socials.
I'd like to finish this off with Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball 3
Fucking word.
on VR.
God.
And those are my final thoughts for E3. You could find me on Phil Stop on Twitch, Phil Stop on Facebook, Phil Stop on PS4, Phil Stop on Xbox, Phil Stop. Yeah, I got the idea, guys. I'll stop.
Phil stop. Nice. Andy.
yeah, you make me follow that up? You are a dick.
I can follow if you want. It'll be very
that's
basic.
My final thought is actually about Overwatch. A lot of people, right after Overwatch released last year, was right before the Summer Olympics, and Overwatch had a seasonal event, their first one, which was their Olympics. They are back this year, and they will be starting on Tuesday. All of the original skins will be the special skins will be again available. Instead of being 3,000 credits, they will be reduced to only 1,000. Since there were a lot of people that joined after that event, so they didn't have the chance to purchase them or to play for them. Also, Lucio Ball will be back, which is basically Rocket League, except in Overwatch form with a soccer ball. They are also going to be doing a competitive Lucio Ball tournament where you can actually place in the top 500, which will get you. So first playing Lucio Ball and completing your 10 competitive matches will give you a special emblem, and then placing top 500 in your region will give you another special emblem. So if you've been getting bored with Overwatch, or if you're interested in checking it out, I would suggest doing so. Now is a very good time to do so, because everything is really starting to round into a really polished form. They're actually also looking at doing a competitive gaming series as well with Overwatch internationally. So there's a lot going on in the Overwatch space. As far as social, Doomfist just recently released, which is unfortunately is not released by or not voiced by Terry Crews, which is a little disappointing. But yes, digital sad face, many sads. But social, you can find me on Twitch, Plisky Guy. Twitter, you can find me there as well. Yeah.
All right. And I guess my final thoughts on E3 itself could have been bigger, but again, like Andy said, you can't really top yourself every year. So I'm looking forward to the next coming years. The games that are coming out are going to be phenomenal. As a fighting enthusiast, Dragon Ball FighterZ and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite are going to be amazing titles. As a classic gamer, Cuphead, I'm super excited for. And yeah, you guys can follow me on YouTube, where all other gameplays are put on for my channel. RM Forum, Matt Ram, Twitch, RM Forum, X Matt Ram X. Yes, the long title. I apologize. I'm gonna work on trying to shorten that at some point. Check me out on Twitter at Matt Ramirez 84. And yeah, be sure to follow all of us here on Facebook at Rated M for Mature. So yeah, all links for Rated M for Mature are in our description, so you should be able to see them right there. Big ass icons. You can't really miss it unless you're kind of blind,
visually impaired, in which case it's okay. We still like you,
even though you can't see us, but you can hear us.
We can listen. That's the important
We
part.
can see you. So ladies, hit me up.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, guys. We'll see you guys in the next podcast, and y'all have a good one.
Yep. See you next Friday. Peace.